The flashing red and blue lights cut through the soft glow of the street lamps, bathing the empty road in urgency. The hum of the police cruiser's siren was sharp and commanding, shattering the quiet of the late evening. Marcus King eased his black BMW X7 to the side of the road, his jaw tightening as he glanced in the rear-view mirror. The officer behind him stepped out, his hand already resting on his holster. "Here we go again," Marcus murmured under his breath. The 43-year-old man adjusted the cuff of his tailored navy suit jacket, his fingers grazing the silver watch at his wrist. His calm demeanor betrayed none of the frustration simmering beneath the surface. He'd been pulled over before, too many times to count. But something about this officer's posture, the swagger in his step, felt different. The officer approached the car slowly, flashlight beams slicing through the tinted windows. He was in his late 30s, a stocky build, with a shaved head and a jaw that seemed permanently clenched. His name tag read, Officer Brad Thompson. Marcus rolled down his window. "Evening, officer," Marcus said politely. "License and registration." Thompson barked, his tone sharp and dismissive. No greeting, no explanation. Marcus calmly reached for his wallet, his movements deliberate. "May I ask what I'm being stopped for?" Thompson leaned closer, peering inside. "You're driving a pretty expensive ride for this neighborhood. Mind telling me what you do for a living?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Is that relevant to a traffic stop?" Thompson's lips curled into a smirk. "Just making conversation. You fit the description of someone we're looking for." Step out of the vehicle. Marcus's patience thinned. Fit the description? Black male, mid-40s, luxury SUV. That about sums it up. Thompson tapped the car roof with his flashlight. "Step out." Marcus sighed and unbuckled his seatbelt. He'd dealt with this type before, the ones who thrived on intimidation, who expected fear. But Marcus wasn't rattled. He opened the door and stepped out, his polished dress shoes clicking against the pavement. Thompson circled him like a predator, sizing up prey. "You got any weapons on you?" "No." "Drugs?" "No." Thompson chuckled, clearly amused by Marcus's calm tone. "What's your name?" "Marcus King." Thompson's smirk faltered for a moment, as if the name triggered something faintly familiar, but he brushed it off. "What do you do for a living, Mr. King?" Marcus's gaze was steady. "I work in law enforcement." That earned a scoff. "Law enforcement? Huh? Sure you do." Thompson grabbed Marcus's license from his hand and studied it. "No criminal record." "That's cute. You mind if I search your car?" "Yes, I mind," Marcus said firmly. Thompson's expression hardened. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means no, officer. Unless you have probable cause, I'm declining a search." The tension thickened. Thompson stepped closer, his hand still resting on his gun. "You think you're clever?" "Huh? This isn't a debate. I said I'm searching the car." Marcus remained calm. "And I said no. Are you detaining me, or am I free to go?" The officer's jaw tightened. "Stay right here." He turned and walked back to his cruiser, speaking into his radio. Marcus exhaled slowly, his mind running through the steps of what was about to happen. He'd seen this play out countless times in his career. Only this time, it was personal. Marcus King wasn't just another driver pulled over on a quiet street. He was the newly appointed head of internal affairs for the entire city's police department, a fact he hadn't shared. Yet, over the past 2 years, Marcus had been quietly investigating rising complaints about racial profiling and misconduct within the force. Officer Brad Thompson's name had crossed his desk more than once, tied to a report of harassment that mysteriously went nowhere. Marcus had planned to handle it professionally, through proper channels. But fate had given him this moment. This wasn't just a traffic stop anymore. This was a glimpse into the behavior Marcus had sworn to reform. Back at the cruiser, Thompson called for backup. His voice carried through the night air. "Yeah, I've got a suspect refusing a search," he said into radio. "Could be dangerous. Send another unit." Marcus's brows furrowed. Dangerous? He hadn't raised his voice, made no sudden moves, and complied with every request. Yet Thompson was painting him as a threat. Minutes later, another patrol car pulled up, lights flashing. A younger officer stepped out. Officer Green, mid-20s, with nervous energy. "What's going on?" Green asked. Thompson gestured toward Marcus. "Guy's being uncooperative. Might be hiding something." Green glanced at Marcus. His eyes flicked from the expensive car to Marcus's tailored suit, then back to Thompson. "He doesn't look." "Doesn't matter what he looks like." Thompson snapped. "Run his plates. I'm searching the car." Marcus spoke up. "Officer Green, I've already refused consent. There's no probable cause here." Thompson's head whipped around. "You shut your mouth." Green hesitated. Something about Marcus's composure and his precise choice of words didn't sit right. Thompson stormed toward Marcus, standing inches from his face. "You think you know the law, huh? You think you can talk your way out of this?" Marcus didn't flinch. "I don't need to talk my way out of anything. I haven't done anything wrong." Thompson smirked. "That's for me to decide." With a quick motion, he grabbed Marcus's arm and spun him around, pressing him against the hood of his own car. Marcus protested. "Hands behind your back," Thompson barked. Officer Green shifted uncomfortably. "Brad, maybe we should stay out of it, rookie." Thompson snapped. Marcus felt the cold steel of handcuffs click around his wrists. He stayed silent, his face calm despite the humiliation. Thompson patted him down roughly, clearly enjoying the display of power. "You know what I think?" Thompson sneered. "I think you stole this car. No way someone like you's driving this legit." Marcus took a slow breath. "Officer Thompson, are you sure you want to go down this road?" Thompson laughed. "What road? You're done, pal." Just then, Marcus heard another vehicle pull up. A sleek black SUV stopped behind the patrol cars, and a man in a crisp suit stepped out, flashing a badge at Officer Green. Green's eyes widened. Detective Morales. "Everything okay here?" the detective asked, glancing from Marcus to Thompson. Thompson straightened. "Yeah, just detaining a suspect." Morales frowned, his gaze lingering on Marcus. Recognition flickered in his eyes. He pulled Green aside, speaking in a low tone. Marcus stayed silent, his mind calculating. He could end this now, reveal who he was, pull rank, and embarrass Thompson in front of everyone. But something inside him wanted to see just how far this officer was willing to go. Thompson returned moments later, still radiating smugness. "All right, we're towing the car. You're coming with me." Marcus looked him dead in the eye. "Are you absolutely sure?" Thompson scoffed. "I've never been more sure in my life." Marcus smiled faintly. "Good, because I want you to remember this moment." The words hung in the air like a warning neither officer understood. Yet, Thompson shoved Marcus into the back of the cruiser, slamming the door. As the car pulled away, Morales stood frozen, dialing his phone. On the other end, someone answered. "Sir, we have a problem," Morales said quietly, watching the taillights fade into the distance. The precinct was buzzing with late-night activity. Phones rang, radios crackled, and officers moved briskly between desks. The smell of burnt coffee lingered in the air. Marcus King, hands cuffed tightly behind his back, was led through the station by Officer Brad Thompson. Every eye followed them. Marcus was sharply dressed, calm, and clearly not the typical arrestee. But Thompson walked with confidence, his grip firm on Marcus's arm as if parading a trophy. "Sit," Thompson ordered, shoving Marcus into a hard plastic chair in the booking area. Marcus stayed composed, scanning the room. He'd been in this very station countless times, but always as the investigator, never as a suspect. "Empty your pockets," Thompson barked. Marcus calmly turned his head. "You cuffed me, remember? Don't get smart with me." Thompson roughly patted him down again, searching for weapons or contraband. He found nothing, just a sleek leather wallet and a set of keys. Thompson tossed them onto the counter. Behind the desk, a young officer typed Marcus's name into the system. She froze. Something on her screen made her frown. Officer Thompson," she said hesitantly. "Are you sure about this arrest?" Thompson shot her a glare. "Yeah, I'm sure." "What's your problem?" The clerk hesitated. "Nothing, sir." She glanced at Marcus again, but stayed quiet. Marcus noticed a reaction. He offered a calm, almost reassuring smile. She quickly looked away. Thompson grabbed Marcus by the shoulder. "Let's get you processed." He marched Marcus to a holding cell, ignoring curious looks from other officers. The cell was cold, dimly lit, and smelled faintly of bleach. Thompson unlocked the door and shoved Marcus inside. "Enjoy your stay," Thompson said mockingly. Marcus sat on the metal bench, his expression unreadable. He leaned back against the wall, crossing his legs. To an outsider, he looked strangely at ease. "Why are you so calm?" Thompson sneered. "You realize you're not walking out of here tonight, right?" Marcus tilted his head. "Is that a promise?" Thompson's face darkened. "Watch your mouth." From the hallway, a familiar voice called out, "Brad." A word. Thompson turned to see Detective Carlos Morales approaching. The detective's sharp eyes flicked toward Marcus briefly before focusing on Thompson. "What's this?" Morales asked. "Suspicious guy. Refused a search. Probably stole that car." Thompson shrugged. Morales raised an eyebrow. "Suspicious guy?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Do you even know who that is?" Thompson scoffed. "Just some slick-talking suit. Thinks he knows the law." Morales leaned in, his voice firm. "You're making a mistake. A big one." Thompson's jaw tightened. "What are you talking about?" "Run his name again," Morales whispered. "Marcus King. You'll regret this." Thompson frowned but didn't move. "Why don't you enlighten me, detective?" Morales hesitated, glancing at Marcus, who sat silently, watching them with cool amusement. "Not my place to say, but you better call the captain before this gets ugly." Meanwhile, Officer Green stood nearby, shifting uncomfortably. He had been at the traffic stop earlier, and something about Marcus's demeanor gnawed at him. Green approached Thompson cautiously. "Brad, I don't think this guy's what you think he is." Thompson turned on him. "What are you saying?" Green swallowed hard. "I'm saying maybe we should slow down. He didn't do anything. He's calm, knows his rights." What if nothing?" Thompson snapped. "We don't slow down for anyone. You're either with me or against me." Green hesitated but said nothing. Hours passed. Marcus remained calm, his hands resting on his knees. When Thompson finally returned, he opened the cell door. "On your feet," Thompson barked. Marcus stood slowly. "You get one phone call," Thompson said, handing him a landline. Marcus smirked faintly. "Generous of you." He dialed a number from memory. The call connected almost instantly. "Captain Reeves." A deep voice answered. "Evening, Captain. It's Marcus King." There was a pause, then a sharp intake of breath. "Marcus? Where are you?" "Precinct 12. Holding cell." "What?" The captain's voice was thunderous. "Stay right there. I'm on my way." Marcus calmly hung up and handed the phone back. Thompson eyed him suspiciously. "Who was that?" Thompson demanded. Marcus's smile didn't reach his eyes. "You'll find out." Within minutes, whispers rippled through the station. Officers exchanged confused glances. The name Marcus King was muttered in hushed tones. Some began to realize who was sitting in that holding cell. Detective Morales leaned against a desk, arms crossed, watching the chaos unfold. He knew exactly who Marcus was, and he knew Thompson was in for a reckoning. Officer Green approached Morales nervously. "Sir, is he who I think he is?" Morales nodded slightly. "Keep your head down, kid. Tonight's going to get messy." The precinct doors flew open as Captain Sarah Reeves stormed inside. Her commanding presence silenced the entire room. At 6 feet tall with a no-nonsense demeanor, Reeves radiated authority. "Where's Marcus King?" she barked. Heads turned toward the holding cells. Thompson stiffened. "In there," Morales said, pointing. Reeves's glare landed on Thompson. "Why is he in cuffs?" Thompson straightened. "Suspicion of auto theft, ma'am. He refused a search." Reeves cut him off sharply. "Are you out of your mind?" Thompson blinked. "Excuse me, do you even know who you arrested?" Reeves thundered. Thompson faltered. No, ma'am. Marcus King. Reeves said, her voice icy, is the head of internal affairs. My boss's boss. He oversees every complaint filed against this department. And you just handed him one hell of a case. The room fell silent. Every officer stared at Thompson, whose face drained of color. Reeves stormed toward the holding cell and unlocked it herself. Marcus stepped out, calm as ever, brushing off his suit jacket. Marcus, Reeves said, her tone softening. Are you all right? I'm fine, Marcus replied, though I can't say the same for your department's reputation. Reeves winced. We'll handle this. Thompson. Marcus raised a hand, cutting her off. No need. I'll handle it. Thompson swallowed hard. Sir, I... Save it, Marcus said sharply. You've said enough tonight. Marcus walked past Thompson, his presence commanding. He stopped at the center of the room, turning to address the officers who had gathered. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcus King. I run internal affairs. And tonight, I was profiled, harassed, and unlawfully detained by one of your own. Whispers filled the station. Cameras from the corner security system blinked, recording every word. Marcus's voice was calm, but carried weight. Everything that happened tonight is now evidence in an active investigation. Officer Thompson, consider yourself relieved of duty pending review. Thompson's face flushed red. He looked around for support, but none came. Marcus turned to Reeves. Captain, I want every body cam recording, dash cam video, and dispatch log from tonight. Seal them immediately. Reeves nodded. Understood. Marcus's eyes met Thompson's. I'll be seeing you very soon, in a very different setting. The station was dead silent as Marcus walked toward the exit. Officers stepped aside, their eyes wide. Thompson stood frozen, realizing the weight of what he'd done. Outside, Marcus pulled out his phone and made a single call. Activate the review, he said. Every complaint tied to Thompson. Pull it. Tonight, we make an example. As he slid into his BMW, the flashing lights of the precinct reflected off the polished hood. The hunter had just become the hunted, and Marcus was only getting started. The next morning, the precinct was a different world. The whispers, the unease, it all hung heavy like fog. Marcus King's name was now on every officer's lips. Some were in disbelief, others terrified. Thompson avoided eye contact with everyone, pacing in an empty interrogation room as if waiting for a sentence he already knew was coming. Across town, at the Internal Affairs headquarters, Marcus stood in a glass-walled office overlooking downtown Los Angeles. He was calm but sharp, his tailored suit immaculate. On his desk, a thick case file sat open. Officer Brad Thompson's entire career laid bare. Excessive force complaints, questionable traffic stops, reports of intimidation. Marcus flipped through the pages slowly, his expression cold. This wasn't just about one night. It was about a pattern. Thompson wasn't a bad cop who made a mistake. He was a liability who had slipped through cracks too many times. Sir, an investigator said, stepping in cautiously, we've pulled every body cam and dash cam file from last night. The footage matches your statement exactly. And there's more. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Go on. The investigator slid a USB drive across the desk. We found multiple stops Thompson conducted over the last 6 months. Same pattern, same language, racial profiling, unlawful searches. It's all here. Marcus leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers. Perfect. Call the captain. Bring him in. A few hours later, Captain Reeves entered Marcus's office, followed by Thompson, now in plain clothes. He looked pale, sweating under the weight of his own fear. Sit, Marcus said, his voice even. Thompson hesitated, but obeyed. Reeves crossed her arms. I tried to warn you, Brad. You brought this on yourself. Thompson's jaw tightened. Sir, with all due respect, I thought. You thought wrong. Marcus cut him off sharply. You didn't just disrespect me, Thompson. You disrespected this entire department. And worse, you endangered it. Thompson shifted in his seat, glancing at the USB drive on Marcus's desk. Endangered it? Marcus leaned forward. Your actions weren't a one-time mistake. We reviewed 6 months worth of your stops. 6 months of racial profiling, harassment, and intimidation. Tell me, do you think a single one of those people you humiliated will stay quiet once this goes public? Thompson swallowed hard. Sir, Save it, Marcus snapped. This isn't negotiation. It's accountability. Reeves stepped closer, her expression stern. You're suspended effective immediately. Internal Affairs will be filing a full report with the DA's office. Thompson's face went pale. Wait, you're pressing charges? Marcus stood, his presence filling the room. What you did last night was unlawful detention. You falsified a police report. You violated civil rights. So yes, we're pressing charges. Thompson looked like the ground had been ripped from under him. He glanced between Marcus and Reeves, but neither showed a shred of sympathy. That evening, Marcus stood behind a podium at a packed press conference. News crews filled the room, cameras flashing, microphones pointed at him. Last night, Marcus began, his voice steady, I was stopped and detained unlawfully by an officer of this department. Not because of what I did, but because of what I look like. The room went silent. Reporters scribbled furiously. This isn't about me, Marcus continued. I am fortunate enough to know the law, to have the resources and position to defend myself. But what about those who don't? How many others have suffered quietly because they didn't have a badge or a title to shield them? Gasps and murmurs filled the air. Marcus glanced at the cameras, his gaze sharp. Internal Affairs has opened a full investigation into Officer Brad Thompson and all associated cases. We will also review department practices to ensure this never happens again. Racism, abuse of power, and intimidation have no place in law enforcement. Not now, not ever. He stepped away from the podium, leaving reporters shouting questions. His message had landed. Within days, Thompson's name was everywhere. News anchors dissected every detail of his career. Body cam footage of him harassing drivers circulated online, sparking outrage. Protesters gathered outside the precinct, demanding reform. Thompson was placed under arrest pending trial. The once arrogant officer who had strutted through the streets now left the station in handcuffs, head down, cameras flashing around him. Officer Green watched from a distance, a conflicted look on his face. Morales stood beside him. Think he'll get time? Green asked. Morales shrugged. Doesn't matter. His career's over. And maybe now, people like Marcus can start cleaning this place up. Green nodded slowly, watching Thompson being led into a police cruiser. Guess he stopped the wrong guy. Later that night, Marcus sat in his office alone, staring out the window at the city skyline. His phone buzzed with messages of support, praise, even apologies from fellow officers. But Marcus wasn't celebrating. He thought of the countless faces he'd seen in complaint files, people who'd been silenced, intimidated, dismissed, people who weren't lucky enough to have his connections. His assistant stepped into the office. Sir, the mayor's office wants to schedule a meeting about department reform, and the DA's requested your input on an oversight task force. Marcus nodded. Good. Tell them I'll make time. The assistant hesitated. You all right, boss? Marcus exhaled slowly. I'm fine. Just thinking about how much work we have ahead of us. She nodded and left him alone. 2 weeks later, Thompson's trial began. Marcus attended, sitting silently in the front row. The same officer who had shoved him against his car now stood shackled in front of the judge, facing charges of misconduct, perjury, and unlawful detention. The prosecution's evidence was airtight. Body cam footage, dash cam recording, GPS logs, eyewitness testimony. Thompson's lawyer tried to paint him as a dedicated officer under stress, but the jury wasn't buying it. When the guilty verdict came, the courtroom erupted in whispers. Thompson hung his head, his career and reputation in ruins. Marcus rose quietly and walked out, ignoring reporters shouting his name. He didn't need to gloat. Justice spoke for itself. That evening, Marcus recorded a statement for the department's internal bulletin. He sat behind his desk, hands folded, his voice calm but firm. What happened to me shouldn't be rare, he said. Not the arrest, but the accountability. No one is above the law, not even those sworn to uphold it. Power is a responsibility, not a weapon. And until we remember that, justice will always be at risk. He paused, letting his words settle. Respect is free, but disrespect, bias, and arrogance, those will cost you everything. The video spread far beyond the department. It went viral, becoming a rallying cry for reform. People across the country shared Marcus's story, inspired by his courage and composure. And though Marcus didn't seek fame, he understood the weight of his platform. This wasn't just about Brad Thompson. It was about every person who had been silenced. Marcus King wasn't just the head of internal affairs anymore. He had become a symbol of change. Fire moral takeaway. Power is a responsibility, not a weapon. Respect is free. Abuse of power costs everything.